Welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knittin' Wolf.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. The scent of the month for January is torrential rain. So you can get 25% off everything that's in the torrential rain fragrance. So swing on by, check that out. And you save on our soaps, lotions, bath salts, candles, all that good stuff. Plus we have other things on sale. And then what we've put up in the shop for Valentine's Day is a bunch of these heart-shaped candles, you know, that have nice little bows.
Wait, we gotta open it so Amanda can sniff.
The smell-o-vision. Come on, smell this. This is good.
That one's
pomegranate. Yeah, we got pomegranate, rose, lavender. So your favorite scent. They make great little gifts or nice little decorations for the house. Or if you're traveling, these are like, you know, we can use them like our sample, our travelable candles to just improve the fragrance in your hotel room.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times they're musty.
Yeah,
and
you know. You just want the good Wolf Farm smell with you.
Or a romantic evening.
Yeah, that too. So go check those out. We got them up in the shop for most of our scents. I didn't do like eucalyptus. That just doesn't say Happy Valentine's Day. But
it is if you're sick.
Well, yeah, but then you need one of the big ones. Just get you through the cold. Like, yeah, I am sick. I've got a cold, so you may hear it in my voice. I may be sneezing and otherwise trying to make it through the podcast, but
I've been fighting it for weeks. It's like I just feel blah. I haven't fully gotten anything. I just wish I'd get off the pot and either be sick or be better, you know?
Oh, because you won't rest. You don't listen to me. She would get over her colds a lot quicker if she actually stopped and just took a day off and rest, but she can't. So, but I've been around.
How can I rest?
You sit and you get your knitting projects all lined up and you sit on the couch. That lasts for all of about 20 minutes and then she gets antsy and then she gets up and starts doing stuff. So
I say I rested.
Yeah, so. But yeah, so I've been around sick people here lately. People with colds that are sharing the germs. So apparently I picked that up, so bear with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been... No, I have that in a different area, so never mind. So.
Follow the show notes.
That's yeah, we have farm happenings. We have what's cooking in the coop, flown the coop, to market, squeal like a pig, picking on the farm, in the arena, what the duck, and rounding it up.
Yeah, that is the game plan.
That was from Cat B913 because she likes knowing what's coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, and not that we'll follow it in that order because she'll be all over the road map. So we want to thank new viewers for stopping by and checking us out, and we wanted to welcome back returning viewers. And you know what you're gonna get. We're gonna get entertained.
You're gonna get your entertaining on, huh?
Woo. So, yeah, I still got energy, even though I'm sick and plugged up, but it is what it is.
Well, he's kind of probably faking it because he was off playing yesterday.
Yeah, you know I'm faking it when I'm sneezing and coughing and...
keeping me up all night.
Yeah,
So for the farm happenings, where you hitched your little wagon and tootled off the farm.
Yeah, I became... I hit the road and went off to Death Valley National Park.
Doesn't that sound fun, Death Valley?
As you can see, she, out of obligation, was offering to go with me. I know she does not, one, like long car rides, two, like desert that much.
3:30 a.m.
Well, I slept in. I didn't leave then. I left it.
You still had the alarm go off at 3:30 a.m.
Yeah. I was not feeling well and debating whether to go. But the thing is with landscape photography, I like to go out when there is clouds in the sky. That's called positive sky. Because if you go out and it's just blue sky, it's just like having a wall in your house that has no pictures on it. It's just blank. Even though it's blue, it's still, there's like nothing, there's nothing of interest in the sky. So I look for stormy weather, clouds, that sort of thing, because then I can go out and it makes it more dramatic when you take, you know, pictures and stuff. And so I've been watching, and I had a couple weeks off around Christmas time, and I was planning to go to Death Valley, but the time that I was planning on going, you know, when it was 10 days out, it looked great. Clouds and everything. I'm like, all right. This time got closer, whoop, all the clouds started disappearing. So I was like, So I decided to forego that. Plus, I was having issues with the camera. So I, in the meantime, got a new camera. So I thought, well, the best way to figure out your camera is to take it on a road trip with you. So that's what I did. We went road tripping to Death Valley, and from our house, it's about 3 hours. A 3-hour drive, and there's...
You said 3.5.
Well, it actually took me longer to get there because there's points of interest along the way. And so I headed up that way, and I stopped at Red Rock Canyon right about as the sun was coming up, and it was... Now, out in the desert, we don't get rain much. We don't get clouds much. It's usually just windy. And it was just awesome all the way through. I mean, the whole day was just, it was excellent. I was heading up, and the cutoff to go to Death Valley happens at a place called Jawbone Canyon. You see all these great names, you know. And I was going to go, you know, cut off there, but the clouds and everything around, there's a Red Rock State Park, Red Rock Canyon State Park that I've camped at and photographed in and stuff before. It's just past the cutoff, you know, so I'm seeing as I'm getting closer that there's awesome clouds and fog, and just it looked so cool. So I went ahead and went past the cutoff, went up to Red Rock Canyon, and you know, I thought parked out there, and it was just, it looked so cool. And so I started off the day, you know, so I've got my new camera out, and I'm taking pictures, and I whip out the iPhone, you know, because I take a picture of that, and I text it to Dawn. So I'm keeping her involved with my trip when I have cell service, because probably most of the time I didn't have cell service. Yeah. And so... Did
you mention that this is a, what did you call it, some kind of park thing?
It's a state park.
Yeah.
Red Rock Canyon State Park.
Well, they may not know that, and our overseas listeners wouldn't know what the heck you're talking about.
It's a state park. I said that.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. Go on.
I said that.
See,
I went to the state park, Red Rock Canyon, then I went to the national park, which is Death Valley.
Okay, that's what there we go.
Yeah, Death Valley National Park. That's okay. So I went to Red Rock Canyon. It was just awesome, just the clouds and everything, and I Instagrammed one of my pictures from there, seeing that I don't Instagram much, but Dawn is encouraging me to get on there. So if you want, you can look at my pictures that I'm going to start putting up on Instagram. My Instagram name is Wolf Photos with an S at the end, because Wolf Photo was already taken. But anyway, so I posted one of those pictures up there. But I took some pictures and, you know, got on the road and started heading up, and up through, there's a lot of mining that's happened over the years between like Red Rock Canyon all the way to Death Valley and stuff. And so heading up that way, they still got stuff going on. I'll go through a town called Trona, and it's basically a mining community. But there's a place called Trona Pinnacles, which is just this geological formations of these, you know, things that just stick out of the ground out of the middle of nowhere. It's pretty funky. I've been there before, and I thought, oh, may as well go ahead and drive down because the clouds are awesome, you know. So I went down there, and it had just rained, and so the road is like 5 miles of dirt road in the rain, and I had fun getting down the road. My poor car has changed colors. It actually is brown now because it's coated with mud from front to back, you know. And
I think you were pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I took a picture and sent it to Dawn. I went to Trona Pinnacles, took some pictures there. Went on to there's a ghost town called Ballarat, which is on the west side of the Panamint Mountain Range, which is Panamint Mountain Range is the west range that is Death Valley sits in between two mountain ranges. And Panamint is the one to the west of Death Valley, and then Ballarat's on the other side. So when you're coming up and heading to Death Valley, Ballarat Ghost Town is actually on the other side from Death Valley. So I've been there before, and so I thought, I'll go down there and see what's happening. Another dirt road, 3.5 miles, full of mud and fun. So I make it through there, and I go and I talk to the guy that he's kind of keeps up the place, and so I'm talking with him a bit, and then I took some pictures because they have some old, the old buildings and stuff that they had from back in the day, and just basically kind of almost touristy trap.
Didn't you say that one of them was in the movie The Island?
No, that's the later on in the day. Yeah, Ballarat's it's like they have some mud buildings, that they had done. This is a lot of communities sprung up back in the mining days to facilitate the miners, and they basically keep the mining operations going. And then when that dies down, everybody leaves the town, and then it just that's how you get all these ghost towns. There's a lot of them up through Death Valley because there was a lot of mining that happened, gold, silver. There's a lot of Epsom salts and borax and all of that down in the basin of Death Valley and stuff. So there was a lot of mining operations. But so I headed up into Death Valley from Ballarat, and it was actually nice drive, just enjoying the scenery. And so I got into Death Valley, and they have the sand dunes there, and so I hiked on those and went down. Where did I go from there? Oh, I headed up, went all the way to Nevada. I was actually in Nevada for part of the time. Crossover, and there's another ghost town, Rhyolite Ghost Town. And I think some of the buildings in that were used in the movie The Island with Scarlett Johansson and what's that guy's name? Can't think of it, but I think that was the one. I'm not sure for sure. After seeing it, it looks a little different, so maybe not. But I'll have to. So I went around there and took some pictures and talked with a couple people that were out there looking at it too. Yeah, being social. Imagine that. So anyway, so I got there, and that was one of the areas actually had cell service, so I could call Dawn and let her know that everything was going well, and I was going to go up this one. It's like a 20-mile canyon road, and I was going to go. I intended on taking that road back into Death Valley because it starts almost where Rhyolite is. You have to start it from there, and it goes back in and up and around. But at the entrance, it said they recommend high clearance vehicles and 4-wheel drive. Well, the car I took is a high clearance. It's a Nissan Xterra, but we don't have the 4-wheel drive on that, and so I opted against that, and headed back into Death Valley and did some more hiking. I did a lot of hiking. Every time I stop, I tend to, get off the road and explore around what's around and take pictures and stuff. So went down, took some more pictures, headed back, and I bought a one-day pass. In the National Park Service, you could buy one-day passes. So you can buy annual passes for a specific park, or you can buy a national pass that'll allow you to get into any park all year long. And Death Valley's one. I know I'm going to go back in September, in spring. I'm going to head back there because there's a place called the Racetrack, which you see a lot of the pictures about these moving rocks in the mud. You see a lot of pictures.
Funky.
I want to head up there, but that is like a whole day trip in itself. It's a long 4-wheel drive, and I have to take my 4-wheel drive truck up there, and I was just exploring. It was more to get used to my camera, but so I headed back from there about 3:30 and got home about 6:30. So, but all in all, had fun. It was good trip.
As I'm hearing the snot nose coughing, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, I was heading back, and right about where Ballarat was. I was on the return trip here. And I had stopped, and it just, on that side, just awesome clouds across the top. You see this whole layer of clouds coming across, and the snowy peaks coming out the top of that, and just looks stormy. And so I'm taking pictures, and I have software that you could stitch a bunch of pictures to make this long panoramic image. So I thought, oh, I'll take this and then I'll get all these pictures taken. Head down the road, and probably about 2 miles down the road, I see a whole group of people, like 4 or 5 cars, all these photographers out there with their cameras taking the same picture. I'm like, hey, I did that. I thought about stopping and talking with them, but I was kind of anxious to get home because by that time I was like feeling like this and missed you. So, and that's about the time. Oh, and I texted on the way back. I didn't see the sign heading to it, but on the way back I saw a picture that said Burro crossing. I thought, I gotta snap that one with the camera and send that over to Dawn, because that was one of the only areas I actually had reception, was that about a 5-mile stretch on this road out in the middle of nowhere happens to have cell service. Must be in a line of sight with a cell tower or something. But
don't you love how he thinks of me when he sees the Burro crossing picture?
Well, I said we need to get one of these, right? And get the Burro crossing, So I thought
I need the Burro too.
Yeah, well, no, they cross. They just pass by. So I thought that was kind of funny. I would have used a different term, but that's.
I know, I was being hazy.
So that was my day out in the Death Valley. So. And I plan on going back. I went ahead on my way back. I bought the 1-day pass, and I went ahead and upgraded. They said, within 7 days, if you want to upgrade to the annual pass, you can do that, and it's only the same price as going twice. And I knew I was going to go back to the racetrack, and I thought I'll just stop in and upgrade. That way, if I want to go back again, because there's so many things that you can go see there. If you like landscape, dirt stuff, it's not the beach, but
I have to have water.
Yeah. There's water there.
It must be my sign, my astrology sign.
Well, there's one area in Death Valley that has it's Darwin Falls. It actually has a year-round waterfall from the springs that come down through there. You wouldn't think in the middle of the desert, but there are actually a bunch of springs along the mountain.
That's right. You didn't even go there, did you?
No, I didn't go to Darwin Falls.
Why'd you go to water? Even your astrology sign's a fish.
Yeah. I saw water when I was using the water bottle to clean the mud off the back of the window so I could at least see out the back of it.
Wow, you're really dirt womping.
Oh, it was coated. It was pretty fun, pretty wild. I had a good time. So
I made more Simona bread. And I still, by golly jeepers, it's still only this high.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sarah, you're out there watching this.
You didn't put the bike pump on there to inflate it.
It did all the rising crap it's supposed to do.
It just shrunk, huh?
No, it's just stayed where it was. I think it's my pans are too big. Because the recipe says 9 by 5, and these are like a 9, almost 9.5 by 5.5.
Maybe you need to send some encouragement to the yeast to grow bigger, huh?
I'm either going to double it and stick it in these pans, or I'm going to, then I might have a real big mess. Or I'm going to stick it in littler pans.
Yeah, trial and error.
It's still yummy, but it's just aggravating. Because Simona, she sent, she plurked it. She plurked a picture of beautiful, that looks like a loaf.
Yeah. She probably just put more dough in there than you did. You double it up and you get supersized loaf.
I want it to look like the classic picture of bread. And
it does, and it's good. It's light and fluffy. Maybe you just need more dough in there so it fills out the pan.
So moving into what's cooking, since I'm talking about were you done with Death Valley?
I am fine, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My notes went itty bitty, so I'm like...
I tried to explain there's a thing called font size, and it's adjustable.
I didn't think of it. I was just printing to get you over here. Yeah. So I've also been doing more dehydrating. I did a lot of apples. And I will put I know Kathy was asking what my dehydrator, a couple of people asked, so I will put the link of the one I got from Walmart. So, because it was Nesco Professional something. Yeah, you had to order it through the online site, they didn't have it. Don't get the ones you can just go buy there because they don't work.
Yeah, I was going to say, we started with one of the cheaper ones, and we went ahead and I think you did some searching around to find out, to find out what people were recommending, and a lot of people had recommended this Nesco one. So
I have an old-fashioned thing
apple peeler.
Apple peeler.
Apple core peeler.
Yeah, it cores it, peels it, and everything. So then you just plop that on the trays, and it just sucks it for 15 hours.
It's a whole lot quicker than trying to do it by hand, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, it's kind of neat because it does peel and it cuts it in little strips as it goes around. It's cutting. They're pretty consistent cuts there.
Yeah.
Dawn's not a cutter. She can't cut straight. That's why we have tools to take care of you.
Cutting challenge. Yes, I put a picture of my bread cutter that you stick the loaf in and you can slice it with your...
Yeah.
It's
color coded so that you get the knife lined up. She still messes that up. That's okay.
I can't be perfect.
It's unique. It has character.
Character, yes. So those are, and then another thing I got really Betty Crocker-ish the other day. I made, which I got the recipe from Courtney, knit in Pearl Girl, homemade flour tortillas. Oh my God, they were so good. So I made the tortilla, and I will never, ever, ever buy tortillas now again. And I have this linked in the What's Cooking, and I'll link it on the show notes. So good. But then I didn't stop there because I was making tortilla soup, chicken tortilla soup, which I have in the What's Cooking thread. And so I made those flour tortillas into homemade baked chips. So I could eat it all, not get sick, and so yummy.
See, the next step is we got to get our flour maker thing all the way from the grain to the table. Huh?
Yeah. So, yep. Yum, yum, yum. Making me hungry. So, I think that was it on the What's Cooking.
Yeah.
And so I guess we should move into In the Coop.
Yeah. So what's
actually show some knitting?
Yeah.
Knitting on the farm. So I worked on the Rocky Coast, which I'm kind of doing right now too. And this is a Hannah Fettig pattern. That's her butt. It will just happen to be the picture, the main picture. And I'm doing this out of Lion Brand's Fisherman wool in the oatmeal colorway. Because I had to copycat Knit Psycho. And I've been working on the arm. So here's my Dicky-Doo. And
you're working on the cuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you keep sizing up. I'm here.
I keep trying it on, and this fits perfectly. I mean, it's like it was made for me. Like I painted it on. That's my cute little chicken, my call Shirley girlfriend's knitting. And I got the fuzz up my nose, and this is a thing with whenever you start a podcast or put a camera in front of your face, your nose is going to itch.
Yeah. Don't sniff
She's
the
got
knitting.
a lot of cute little markers. She's got little pig ones now that are squealing like a pig, and on this I must have monkey arms because you're only from the armpit to where you start the ribbing. You're only supposed to go 13 inches. I've gone 17 and a half.
Well, you go the length of your arm. So
well, yeah, and then I'm going to do the cuff. And
I'll tell you, from the picture she's got there, that ain't no 13 inches from her.
Well, no, it don't fit her right. But I like it where it's like a little bit past my palm, you know, and, you know, so if I'm cold, I can go like that. So I want it to be able to do that, you know, so.
Well, that's the joy of making it yourself. You can change it up however you need it.
Yeah. So this is such an awesome pattern. I'm just loving it. But I have to get this done by the 1st because Knit Psycho, well, now I'm jumping.
Is that, that's all cabling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were cabling without a cable needle?
Yeah. And these are knit picks. I'm on size 9 now. They're the Harmony wood. And then 10.5 was, I already got the other arm with the needles ready to go too. So I got to get this cranked out because after the arms, I still got to do the whole band that goes up and around. And so hopefully I can get it done by the 1st. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because I got other projects I'm wanting to do.
Cool. Is that it? That all? Didn't you have some?
I got FOs.
Oh, okay. That's right. You did. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm still working on my Zuzu pedals by. Let's see who this is. I can find my.
Karina Spencer.
Karina Spencer.
And this was a gift from Blue Ruin, who just sold her house. Yay!
So, doing this out of the Madeline Tosh Tart. I like this yarn. That's why I'm doing it. This is a gift from my lovely wife, but I'm slowly but surely plugging away on it. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, here's my stitch marker.
I think today you kind of went in the negative, though, honey.
Yeah. Knitting and not feeling well when you have to pay attention doesn't work that well. I was having a tough time this morning because I was trying to get a couple more rounds on there, but there's my little Dickie Do. I'd done a couple more rows. It's coming along, but I was trying to do some knitting this morning and woke up and it wasn't working for me. Don had to come rescue me because somewhere along the way I forgot a yarn over. And then when I'm coming on the next row, I'm like, hey, there's not enough stitches here.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. But no, it's actually, I like the challenge of this because it's harder than just doing a dishcloth. But I'm learning techniques that are, both knitting techniques, and then also you're teaching me how to read my knitting so that, if you mess up pretty quickly, So, if the yarn overs or if your pearls are supposed to be lining up and you're not, then, you could pretty quickly either figure out that you forgot something back behind, and so it works out. So when you feel like I do today, then it helps to read that so you can know that you're messing up. So
I did have something else in the coop. I always forget the spinning.
I was going to say, but...
Oh. I did 2 ounces yesterday of this. This is Busy Bee Fibers, and I've had this forever. I think when she first opened her shop. It's Busy Bee.
Well, you said you got that right after we'd got your wheel, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin it. And this is 4.2 ounces of Polworth in the color Alice in Red. And this is 2 of the ounces. And it's reds that fade into grays, so it kind of gives a pinkish tint. And as it's spinning up, it is being more pink. So, yep.
Pretty cool. You do that double ply?
Yeah. I'm hoping to get like a worsted.
Cool.
I don't know, I'm just trying to get that consistent worsted,
Well, when you do it regularly, then it's a lot easier to...
Yeah.
You did the last couple things you'd done that you were aiming for
I'm
worsted.
nailing it right on it, yeah. This is such awesome fiber. I mean, it practically just spins itself. You're not having to fight it, or, it's not a little bit felted or anything. It's just smooth on there,
Yeah, you were mentioning that when you're sitting over there, that it was spinning up really nice. So.
Just, so calming.
Yeah.
So, finished?
Yeah. What's fun?
Flown the coop. The first thing that flew my coop is Priscilla the Persnickety Pig by Jenna Krupar. And I did this out of hand spun. Seems like all of Jenna's patterns I do out of hand spun.
True.
Nothing. So this is CJ Kopech the main body is C.J. Kopech in the Indiana Jones. And then the
ears,
tail, and nose is Freckleface Fiber. Look at him. He
so cool
is so cute. Yes, I am. So, yeah, look at his cute little butt. But I think last week all I needed is the legs.
Yeah, you had completed quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
I think you were working on the ears and.
Yeah, he is just so cute. I just love him. Really great pattern. So, yeah.
Cool.
I love him.
Yeah. You have to show Randy that, huh? You just eat it and.
Well, I didn't do black like our pig because, for one, the eyes wouldn't show up, and I really don't like knitting with black. And
yeah, well, no, it turned out good.
Yeah. And then some fiber I finished. That was a gift from Apple Blossom. From the Apple Blossom and You podcast. See, here's her card, because I got her card because look at the fiber. It matches. And this was Corriedale. 4.2 ounces of Corriedale. And I left it as a single because I was going to do a shawl. And I honestly think, because this is like 17 wraps per inch. 17 wraps per inch, I'm not only going to get 272 yards of a single. So I think I counted wrong. I think it's probably 472 or something.
You'll find out when you start knitting, but it's...
Because I'm like, oh, it must not have been 4 ounces.
No, you weighed it.
I weighed it. I don't know, it turned out pretty. And
the other option is to measure it all off again.
Yeah, and she did a super duper dye job because there was no bleeding in the water. You know, it just... But doing it as a single, when I took it out of the water, this was so energized that the Energized Bunny, you know, put him to shame, man.
Twisting, huh?
Yeah, so that's where I also... Well, I was anxious to see what it looked like caked up, too.
Pretty cool.
So that's really pretty. I have no idea what I'm going to make out of it now because...
You don't know how much yardage you have?
No.
It'd be safer to just remeasure that all and then...
But then I'd have to put it back on the Swift.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you other than either you hope you have enough or you...
Okay, the next Flown the Coop is also part of my Squeal Like a Pig. So I was given this cow pattern, which is the Downton Cow by Shannon Cook. And this was a gift from This Mom Knits 2 on Ravelry, and This Mom Knits on Plurk, Amy. And I had just finished, well, I didn't just finish, I've had it finished for quite a while, but it just clicked in my head. Perfect yarn. The yarn was Friends and Fiber Chianti or Chianti. How do you say that? Chianti.
We have this discussion every time that yeah.
And that was a gift from the Fat Squirrel. So take it off since I have it on. I've already finished it. It is so pretty. I just love it. And this is such a great pattern. Whew, my neck is cold now. This was really warm. I'm trying to remember what fiber. I think it was just a merino. A merino and silk. I remember. I'd gotten 198 yards out of it. So, yep, really, really pretty. I didn't do as many repeats, and that's pretty dang wide. I think it had said like 6 repeats of the pattern, and I did 4. So, yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty.
Your neck warm.
Yep. I could be like the model in the picture. So.
Pretty awesome.
So, yeah. Pretty cool.
My Trubby.
So, I just got it this week for, and...
Got it, knit it up, and it's flown the coop, and
yeah.
Now you're enjoying it, seeing that it's cold outside.
Yes, it is.
It's windy and cold.
froze my tatas off this morning.
Of course, to some people, they'd be in shorts compared to their temperature.
I know.
Here, but
Yeah, Meliabella, I think, clerked it was 22. She's ready to dig out the sunblock and slip and slide.
Go lay out on the recliner and get a tan, huh?
So, yes, that's all of my Flown the Coop. So, to market.
Okay.
So I'm actually going off the notes.
Yes, you are. You're following along. That's why I'm not able to follow, because usually you're like all over, and so... Just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. Right,
so,
to market.
To market. This is, well, it's kind of half to market and half not. Because this is Unwind Yard Company. I won a $25 gift certificate to her shop. And it's, here's her little mood card. Unwind Yarn Company. And I've had her fiber and yarn before, and it does not matter what you get from her. It's amazing. The prep on her fiber, the twist on her yarn is phenomenal. And she always packs a, I'm really smelling it, lavender sachet, and which goes into our lavender soap, Dana. And then a B-Gen design stitch marker. So, in pink.
B-Gen, huh?
I don't know. B-Gen?
That's right. I just haven't heard that name.
And so, I used the $25 gift certificate and put money towards getting a shawl kit. I can't think of the name of the shawl. I'm wanting to knit with it right now. Which was also a gift from Dana, Crafty Girl 83. And this is the Alpine and light brown. And it is phenomenal. And it has gold sparklies. I hope I can get it close enough that it's going to pick up the gold sparklies. It's so pretty. Sand and sea shawl, or it's something beachy. Because I thought this is perfect.
I don't remember
just
what you'd mentioned. So.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. Ooh, I just saw a shimmer. Ooh. So, yeah, it is awesome. Beautiful. I like the gold sparklies. I've never seen gold sparklies.
It's usually silver, huh? Very cool.
So thank you, Dana. And she's got super duper crinkly bags too. And then, which are, get your snot rag, which are cat approved because my cat loves licking plastic.
Yeah.
So then, another thing I marketed, I wanted to do the calligraphy cardigan. And I had enough Christmas money to get 2 sweaters worth. My definition of 2 sweaters worth of yarn. And so I wanted to try the Beaver Slide Dry Goods, which is merino wool grown in Montana. So James's mom lives in Montana, so right there it kind of has a little, plus it has mohair, which
our goats
are mohair, or Angora goats. So I don't know why they don't call them mohair goats.
Maybe they didn't like the name, and so they decided to be Angora.
Yeah.
No, that's from the Angora region. That's where they get their name, from where they're from originally.
Oh, there's a place called Angora? See what you learn.
Yeah.
So these are some nice treats. Oh.
How you like them apples, huh?
Yeah. This is a 4-ounce skein, 2-ply DK heavy sock weight yarn, 80% merino and 20% mohair, 450 yards. So I got 4 of these. And this is the, some colorway. Oh, Mountain Twilight.
Pretty awesome.
It is just so cool, and it's soft. Because I know the fat squirrel, Amy Beth, she has done a lot of sweaters and beaver slide dry goods. You know, and it's almost kind of got a tweedy effect. Mm. You know, you can see little hints of pink and purple and blue within this. I guess midnight twilight, mountain twilight. You know, it picks up the color. Oh, and it's soft. You know, because I asked her if it was next to the skin soft, you know, because I'm a wuss. So, well, because most of the time I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, so it's going to be really next to the sensitive.
Yeah, some of that wool is pretty
burly.
Rough.
Yeah, so it is, you know. She did say for me to make sure I swatched because it does bloom. Mm. So I have to be a good girl and swatch and wash, she said. So
you figure out how much it's gonna change.
Yeah. So this ought to be a really cuddly sweater.
Pretty awesome.
Yep. And the lady was really, really nice. So
cool.
Yeah, that's all I bought.
That's all.
Well, all I bought that came. One more thing will be coming next week, and then all my Christmas money. So I have to wait till my birthday.
Yeah.
So, but that's for a project starting on the 1st, so it might actually be cast on.
Cool.
So, I don't know where I'm at.
You're Squeal Like a Pig.
Oh, Squeal Like a Pig. I've already mentioned my one Squeal Like a Pig. Squeal Like a Pig. There we go. That was better.
That's better.
Which is the Downton Cow. Things. You know, which is like the Downton Abbey. Mm-hmm. So, and then I got a pattern from Angelia McGarra. And this is her design, and it's called the Lacuna. That's really pretty yarn, too.
I see, that's a neat pattern.
That's the edging. It's a crescent-shaped shawl. And she's AMC. I'm lost her name. It's really AMC Guerra on Ravelry. It's just beautiful. So congratulations, because that was her. There's icky on my. Oh, it's the lavender. Dana's lavender.
Oh.
Okay.
Scenting your iPad.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, there's.
It's a scratch and sniff. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Sneak it in there and.
So thank you, Angelia. That's just beautiful. I might have to get some of that yarn sometime. Yeah. She did it in Dreams in Fiber Glint Sock. I've never even heard of it. Huh. So, ooh, so pretty. Thank you. And then...
Oh, I got gifted a pattern, too, yesterday while I was in Death Valley. I was disconnected, but I did get the email and stuff, but I did get the Happy Monster pattern from Dawn. Danger Mouse. Dawn, she sent me that, so thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And this is patterned by Amanda Berry.
Yeah, so when I get going on those toys, I'll have a couple knit up.
Yeah, see, this one, you'll also learn how to switch yarns, too, if you did him stripy. Yeah. I guess you could do him plain.
No, I'll do stripy. I'm trying to learn, so everything that I could you throw at me, I'll figure it out.
It's really cute.
So, I'll have to try that out and do the best I can, figure out and learn some new techniques. So, and I got someone very helpful in backing my mistakes out when I get
You need to start doing that
It's
yourself.
so much easier to say, here, honey. Yeah, I know. You had shown me, lifting, I'm still not that good. And if I'm feeling bad enough to mess up my knitting, then I'm probably going to do worse trying to back it out, and I'll drop all sorts of stitches then, huh? Mm-hmm. What?
I was getting ready to...
Oh. No.
I just...
You're so funny.
Picking on the farm.
Picking on the farm. Well, this is... I'm continuing on with my Getting to Know Your Camera segment. And...
You gotta have the background music.
And so this episode, I'm going to talk about the ISO setting, and I'll give you a little background about what that is and how you can use it, and some of the things you need to be aware of when you do actually use that. So ISO actually stands for International Standards Organization. They come up with a set of standards that that everybody is like talking the same terms. So when the different camera manufacturers, you know, set their thing to the ISO setting, then everybody's using the same numbers, and that comes in handy because when you're using, you know, a light meter that you're setting the ISO to 100 and you set your camera to ISO 100, they're talking the same language. Otherwise, you'll get no consistency. So that's basically what a standards organization does. They create standards so everybody is actually using the same method for measuring. And basically in a camera, ISO setting is basically your light sensitivity. You know, how do you measure light sensitivity? This comes from back in the day when you had film. And, you know, you go to your.
You still have that.
I know, it's okay. Yeah, see my my 4-pack of 35 millimeter, but in the back they used to have a little scale here. The number, the 100, 200, 400. That's basically your ISO setting. But you know they used to put this out there that, you know, the 100 was the outdoor because you got lots of light and you don't need a fast film, or 200 is like a mix, and 400 is for indoor, and they go all the way up. And they used to make black and white film up to like 3200 or 6400 and speeds, but there's a trade-off with going with the faster speed. In films, the light sensitivity comes from the silver salts that they use in the emulsion, and to get faster settings, they actually use larger silver salts. And what happens on film is you get grainier pictures. So 100 you get nice smooth and, you know, there's really blended, but you go all the way up to some of the 3200 and it's really grainy. You see all of these, you know, it's like really pixelized, I guess would be the best way in a digital world to talk about it. So basically the film speed used to have the ISO settings, and moving into a digital camera, they have the equivalent setting on your camera. It's called the ISO setting. And a lot of the cameras have the, you know, from 100 up to 800 or even higher. If you have a more advanced camera, they go up as high as, you know, 6400, or I think some of them even go up to 32,000. I mean, it's crazy, but every number you go up doubles the sensitivity of the, you know, how much light sensitivity you have. So if you go from 100 to 200, you have twice as much light sensitivity. And what this does is it allows you to either use a faster shutter speed or stop down your aperture on your camera one stop. So if you were taking a picture at you know, a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second with ISO 100, if you set it to 200, you could actually go up to 1/250th of a second. So you cut the time in half because you double the light sensitivity. The problem is with film, when you went up in the speeds, you got more grainy. And so that was the trade-off. You could actually use a faster shutter speed in a dark, you know, darker environment like indoors and stuff. If you didn't have a faster film speed, then your pictures would blur. And so on digital cameras, you can set that ISO setting at any point in time. So you can go and, oh, okay, I want to, you know, I'm in indoors and I can't use flash, so I got to use a higher ISO setting. The trade-off with digital is they don't use the silver grains to amplify to get a faster film speed sensitivity. I'm tripping over myself here. But what they do is they amplify the signal from the digital sensor to give you that faster speed. And so on the camera, when you go from 100 to 200 ISO setting, it's actually doubling the signal that's coming into the film sensor, or the image sensor on the camera. Now the trade-off is when you amplify a signal, it will tend to cause issues. You'll get distortion in the signal, and it causes what they call in digital camera artifacts. You can think of it like your stereo. You know, you turn your stereo up and you're listening at a low volume and everything seems really clean. And the more you turn it up, the more you start to hear more distortion in the sound, to the point where it sounds really, really bad. Well, that's the kind of the trade-off with the ISO. The higher up you go, if you're at 100 and you go to 200, yeah, it's you know, you get faster speed and it's you know, tolerable. You can handle the little bit of artifacts or a little bit of, you know, down at the lower end it's not so bad, but when you start bumping it up to 800, 1600, 3200, you get a lot of distortion, and that affects your image, your end result in your image. So that's kind of the trade-off. So sometimes you just have to weigh, you know, is it better to not blur the picture and get some of these digital artifacts that, you know, will happen because you're amplifying that signal, and that's where you really need to trade off, you know, decide where the trade-off is going to be. But a lot of times they don't mention the cost of going up in ISO setting. You know, they just say, oh, you can use it in a darker environment. Oh, yeah, but there is going to be some impact on your images. So that's basically what the ISO setting will do for you. So.
See, I don't have to worry about that. I use my...
You use your iPhone, and iPhone has no ISO setting.
Does that have that
no,
on there?
Not all cameras do. So, but you know, most of the digital cameras nowadays that are dedicated digital, not the ones that are on the phone, will have at least some adjustment so that you can use the camera in a darker environment and still not blur the picture. So.
Now, do point and shoots have that?
Mm-hmm. Your point and shoot digital camera has that.
Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, the lower end cameras still have, I don't know, most of them have at least some sort of an ISO setting adjustment. But the better cameras have a higher range that you can adjust. This goes
back to last week to read your manual.
Yeah, read your manual. It'll tell you what your range is. And the reason why the higher end cameras have a higher range is because they actually spend more money on the amplifier that amplifies the signal. They do it. They have a better way of amplifying it, and just like if you buy a $15 boombox stereo and you crank it up, it sounds really bad. And you go out and you buy yourself a $15,000 Bose system and you can crank it up and it sounds great. That's the difference in cameras. You buy a cheaper digital camera, the amplifier they put in there is going to be pretty poor, and so to keep it from being so obvious in the picture, they only allow you to extend that range a little bit. But you get into professional digital SLR cameras, and I think they have ISO all the way up to like 32,000 that you can adjust. And even then, there'll still be artifacts, but they just have a better amplifier that takes that signal and is able to, work with that more cleanly than the cheaper ones. So that is what the ISO setting is. And then next week I'll be talking a little bit more about getting to know your camera. I'll be talking about the image format, memory card issue, how to set up your camera and some of the things you need to consider when you're doing that. So that'll be my picking on the farm next week. So come on back. So let me flick it back to you. Sorry. I'm slacking today. Head's in the clouds still.
So, in the arena, I want to mention the Snuggle Project with the Yarnivore podcast, Snuggle Project 2013. We both showed some snuggles last week, and this week we had 6 more people enter projects, and that was, dang, I really put this font tiny, Whisk Knitter, Knit and Pearl Girl, she's already working on her second one too, Queen Ribbit, she's been too busy on Heyday. She was even up in the middle of the night. She goes, I really should be asleep. I know what she was doing. I know what she was doing. Gotta give her a hard time. Knitter 2, Knit
Gal 2.
Knit Gal 2. I didn't know if there was an N in between there. And Amy, yes I am. So yay guys. But I've got to say, Highland Handmaids and Knitting on the Fly are kind of skunking us guys. And we have 3,355 members in the Wolf Farm group. Come on, where are you? You know, we've got to, you know, get off our duff and get these snuggles knit.
These poor puppies.
Look, I'm going to show you this puppy. He says, I can't speak for myself. You are my voice. I really need you to knit a snuggle for Wolf Farms. You know, this is what you're knitting for.
I want to be comfortable in my house.
The cages. You know, these are, you know, animals that are needing your comfort because they're just sitting on cold concrete and or wired cages. You know, I mean, and it's really sad here in the Antelope Valley because our animal control is a no-kill shelter. I mean, is a kill shelter.
That's why we have a lot of rescues.
That's why we have a lot of rescues here, and they're all packed. I mean, it looks...
Yeah.
You know, there's 6 to 7 dogs in a cage. Look at that face. He's saying, knit a snuggle. Knit a snuggle for Wolf Farms.
And the shelters, they're well cared for, but that extra snuggle will just give them something to wrap themselves up in and have a nice, comfortable place to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So.
See, he's saying adopt me. I was wondering what he said.
Adopt me or give me a snuggle.
Give me a snuggle.
So,
but, yeah, I mean...
So, come on, you could just...
You know, he's reaching out for a snuggle.
Yeah.
And he really wants you to enter it in the Wolf Farm podcast.
Well, either way.
Because he wants to beat...
I know you're competitive, but the end result...
teasing because I've got to bug him.
I know, but the end result is... However you do it, and whichever group you go in, make one because it does help them out, you know. And
but if you do enter it in the Wolf Farm podcast, you can win
some yarn. We have some good prizes. We got that, and we got a bag and
from Amanda, Elizabeth Quinton Designs. But yeah, seriously, you know, you are helping a critter out there, and
so good. I
you know,
did
they
one,
don't
and
take that long.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know,
even if you do a small one, you know, 14 by 14, and
well, I know they also have sewn ones too.
Sewn ones, yeah.
If you, I know that's not Ravelry related, but
you still enter that
picture. Still enter it if you're doing sewn ones, but anything to help them out, give them a bed to sleep on. So.
Plus, you guys want to beat Katie and Heather. I'm not a redhead for nothing.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So, yep. Do what you can. Help out. Don't forget to enter it in our group, though. So.
Yeah. And when you enter it in Sadie's, you know, you need to let her know which podcast it's for. And so I wanted to mention a new podcast I watched this week. It's Mel Tran Designs. She's Mel Tran Designs on Plurk, but on Ravelry she is Anansi, which is her daughter's name, because I got a VK in with her and I got to see her little son. And she podcasts with her 4-year-old home, and he is such a good boy. He's quiet and...
Yeah. We podcast with our son home, and we have to close the doors and tell him.
And he's 15.
Yeah.
But she has a Ravelry group. Now, her podcast, she has 7 episodes, but they are on YouTube. And I have to really think of that to remember to go to YouTube, because I don't. I catch everything on my Downcast app. So anybody that's on YouTube or just their blog, I gotta really
remember you have to make an effort.
I can't just, listen on my phone. So go give her a listen. She's also a designer, and she has a shawl knit-along going on right now. I can't think of the name of the shawl right now, but you can see that in her profile. And I think she's doing that with Fiber Nymph. So I don't think you have to knit it in Fiber Nymph yarn, but so go check it out if you're interested. And she's really sweet, and it was fun doing a VK in with her and Ray Ann and a whole bunch of people. And so I was sick and had a sore throat, so it was really hard to talk. Yeah, I couldn't even croak out to Amy. She's the one that gave me this cowl. It's like, because I kind of went into the thing without having my whole thing set up, you know, with something to drink.
Oops.
Yeah. So, what the duck?
What the duck?
I have just a couple patterns I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to do the Palm to Pin with the Knit Psycho podcast. And I ordered yarn for that. And then I want to do the Killer Affection, which I've had for over a year. And Sadie, Yarnivore podcast, is going to knit along with me. And I know CatB913 already started. And Knitting Adder is going to be starting it. So it's not a formal knit along. I think we're just all starting
doing
it at the same time. So it'll be fun checking each other's out.
Cool.
So I think that's about all.
Okay, well.
So until next time.
Let's get cracking.
I'm ending this show. It's time to go.
And hatch and knit. Wow. Bye.
Bye.